Hi, I'm Julia Fine, and I'm going to be reading to you from The Upstairs House, my new postpartum poltergeist novel, coming February 2021 from Harper Books. Uh, all you really need to know is that Megan, a new mom, is home alone with Clara, her baby, while her husband Ben is traveling for work. Clara is about 2 weeks old, and Megan has been hearing strange sounds coming from the roof of her condo that she right now is attributing to the dead children's author Margaret Wise Brown. I thought if I could only take my body back, if I could just find some space between myself and my child, then I could find my way out of this between, where I was always attached, constantly ravished. The books called that back and forth Clara did when she sought my breasts rooting. The word came from the Old Norse root, the origin. I was the cause of Clara, the seed and the soil, she the plant draining nutrients, rearranging my established composition, using me to push up and up and up. She was 2 weeks old and still so desperate. If I just had some space, could just stretch out even a little. If I didn't have to lean forward, crook my neck, squeeze my nipple every time Clara wanted to eat. I kept ruining my pumped milk, germ-ridden Solly the dog coming to investigate whenever I turned on the machine, my hands too full to shoo her. But each of the major formula brands had sent samples in the mail after we moved, their new baby tracking system honing in on Clara's approach. Since I planned to nurse, we were going to donate it. The boxes were still sitting on a shelf in the garage. Surely no one would know if I skipped one breastfeeding session, if I mixed Clara some formula and sat her in her bouncer and held her bottle away from my body for just 20 minutes to feel something close to free. I put her in the baby wrap to go down to the garage. After a few false starts, I managed to knock the nearest box down from storage. Then I brought the powder back upstairs and mixed it. I knew I wasn't supposed to use the microwave, but Ben never microwaved my pumped milk, always ran the bottle under hot water and then tested the milk on his wrist. But it would take forever for the pipes to run hot. It was frigid outside, and our water heater was finicky. Clara was crying. I moved the warmed bottle from the microwave to the counter, slammed the microwave door shut, heard it click, and then the suction swish of the door opening. I frowned, slammed it again. Swish, again, slam. The bottle smelled funny. Felt like maybe the plastic was melting. The milk was too hot. I shook it. Clara wrinkled her nose, judging me. Another swish. Condo, fucking judging me. I stuck the bottle in the freezer and closed the microwave. Went over to replace Clara's sock, which had slipped. When I went back to check on the bottle, it fell out of the freezer and onto the floor, formula splattering everywhere. Solly padded over to lap up the spill. I took Clara to the armchair and unfastened my bra. Swish! When open, the microwave emitted a weak orange light. From where we sat in the living room, it looked like an alien ship had landed in the kitchen. Dark, but for that glow. I'd never been one to buy into extraterrestrials. I'd spent several drunken evenings debating the issue with Ben, who was certain not only that life was sustainable on Mars, but that somewhere out there in some galaxy was a world of creatures more advanced than humans, an equal consciousness not as petty, more rational, better equipped to handle crises. It was enough for me to know that I existed in a world of other people, as a point in a line of human consciousness that might not be infinite, but stretch centuries forward and back. I didn't need nebulae and solar systems and extra dimensions. Thinking about other galaxies made me dizzy, made me think too hard about how much our own planet was spinning, how impossible it was to ever hold on or stay put. Clara was latched now, but the television remote was all the way across the room. I leaned over for my phone and immediately noticed an alert from Mrs. What to Expect's message board. I'd never been alerted before. I only scrolled through, an observer, leaving no trace of myself but the thumbprint on the screen of my phone. Throughout my pregnancy, I dabbled with several apps and online communities, evaluating each on interface and how often it crashed. They were all similar in content. Women posted, "Is it normal to be growing hair on my nipples?" Or, "Please take a look at this discharge and let me know if it's really my bloody show." Mrs. What to Expect's app was my favorite, both because of its lavender titles and for the validity afforded by its association with her best-selling book. The October board was a group of over 10,000 women, all over the world. Our only commonality, the window of time in which sperm met our eggs. I didn't track everyone. That would have been impossible. And besides, some of the women spelled love L-U-V, or had handles like Gun Packin' Mama, or wrote lengthy posts complaining about their night nannies. These were clearly not my people. Nor were the women who commented posing with their swaddled, smushed-faced babies, their tired eyes and neon lipstick. The whole point of the message board was anonymity. I didn't want these actual women, but their avatars. I wanted them the way the audience of a Greek play wants its chorus, masked and hovering, commentating on the action, passing judgment on the players on the stage, not on me, safe in my seat. Oh, Megan, silly Megan. The audience and players are one and the same. I opened the app, clicked on the little speech bubble, the heading of the post I was tagged in. Microwave. Megan, it began. I didn't use my name anywhere on the app. Megan, did you mean to put the bottle in the microwave? What the fuck? Clara whimpered. She was falling asleep, still attached to me, her mouth of vise at my left nipple. She had a small bit of dried snot stuck to her nostril that fluttered with each breath. Had Ben set up a nanny cam to keep an eye on me? Had Annie? My head swiveled toward the curtains, all shut. We hadn't yet installed the baby monitor. My laptop was closed. How were they watching me? Who were they? And why did they care? And what was with the passive aggression? The author was Anon 987, and Mrs. What to Expect didn't let you click to see what else she had posted on the site. I could, however, follow the thread to get alerts whenever somebody responded. Clara made one of her high-pitched dolphin sleep sounds. My finger hovered. Before I could smear my thumb across the screen, the app refreshed itself, and 3 responses followed. Anon 987. She came because she was called. The message read like a horoscope, the perfect ratio of particular to vague. Of course there was a she. There was Margaret. There was Clara. There was the anger emanating from the turquoise door upstairs. The heat. Anon 988. Don't let her in and don't upset her. You wouldn't want to upset her. You wouldn't want her to come in. Some other message board mother had heard the hammering, smelled the smoke. They knew about the upstairs house and Margaret's dog. They knew my microwave was broken. They knew I was drowning. Anon 989. Megan, don't upset her. The situation with Margaret hadn't yet been frightening. Strange, unexpected, frustrating in its opacity, but never yet frightening. This warning was frightening. And then, Clara 363. It hurts. My twinge of fear became full-body terror. Clara was fully asleep now, her mouth slack, a little blister forming on her top lip from the friction between our 2 bodies. I thought I might vomit. I thought I might scream. My stomach swirled, my vision invaded by dark, dilating stars. Moving Clara to her bouncer, I went to the bathroom to dry heave over the toilet, then doused my face in cold sink water when I realized it was to no effect. My whole body itched with heat, with the knowledge that something was coming, and I knew I couldn't face it, couldn't stand it, whatever it might be. I ran out the sliding doors onto the balcony to face instead the thrilling cold of November pre-dawn. Frozen concrete, quiet street, city dark, with dim-lit street lamps. I was vastly underdressed, and the temperature was bordering on freezing, but at least I'd put some distance between myself and Clara, between myself and that message board, the house. At least I could breathe. Beyond the alley, the boulevards were silent. A light was on in the house across the way, and I could see a television flicker and the shadow of a woman standing at the shadow of her kitchen island. My breasts hurt from the cold, from Clara leaving neither empty. There was a blanket just inside, but I couldn't bring myself to step beyond the threshold of protection, the glass door keeping me outside my own life, maintaining my status as passerby, observer. My panic had crested, but now it began to recede. Time to take stock. I was sleep-deprived, hormonal. We hadn't focused on the condo since Clara was born, but it was an it, a place, and not a consciousness. Could foster no resentment. The microwave was broken. I was tired and anxious. In my exhaustion, I'd imagined Margaret. Somebody out there was playing some stupid, sick joke. I'd be fine if I took a step to the left, toward the glass, if I just turned the handle. Better than fine. I would be warm and indoors with my child. Glass was glass, and the internet was just a mess of radio waves and wires. My toes had turned to ice. I braced myself and peeked beyond the brick. Clara asleep, one hand stretched above her head, as if she'd found her church and was testifying. She was 2 weeks old, and in between the times she'd be able to hurt me. My baby. My girl. I put my hand on the door handle. It wouldn't turn. The door was locked.